This vacation home is exclusively for my parents. I won't let your parents use it." I was stunned by my husband's words. He had casually purchased $1 million vacation home, and now his true intentions were clear. So that's what this is all about, I thought, realizing his motives. I had reached the end of my patience. "Fine, but you're going to regret this, you know." "I won't. Don't ever show your face to me again." Robert stood there, arms crossed, a smug grin on his face. "If that's how it is, then I won't hold back. I'll make sure he regrets it," I thought. "My name is Kathy. I married my husband, Robert, 4 years ago, and we've been living as a couple. Neither of us has any particular hobbies, so our savings kept growing. If I had to name one indulgence, perhaps it would be brewing coffee from beans on a weekend morning." "Speaking of which, your mom's birthday is coming up soon, isn't it?" I asked Robert, holding a freshly brewed cup of coffee. We're both in our mid-30s, and Robert's parents are turning 60 this year, a year ahead of mine. "How about we give them a spa retreat as a gift for their birthdays? It'd be a nice memory, don't you think? A good idea, right?" When I suggested this, my husband agreed. "That might be a good idea. I'll ask my parents if they want anything specific. If not, we'll give them the spa retreat. They'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone." I didn't mean it like that. "I know, just joking. Next time I see my parents, I'll talk to them about it. Kathy, can you look up some good spas?" "I got it. How about we go on a trip too? It would be nice for a change." 2 weeks passed, and my mother-in-law's birthday was fast approaching. "Hey, we need to make a reservation soon. At this rate, we won't even make it for my father-in-law's birthday. Did you talk to your parents?" In response to my hurried question, my husband answered leisurely, "Oh, did I not tell you? I've already asked their preferences, so it's fine. We don't need to book the spa retreat." "Is that so? Then it's okay, but what did they say they wanted?" Eager to choose the gift together, I asked that question, but my husband gave me a look that suggested he found it troublesome. "I'll handle everything. It's my parents' 60th birthday. You don't have to get involved, Kathy." Robert's words took me by surprise. He had never brushed me off like this before. "That's not a nice way to say it," I said, feeling emotional. "Why won't you tell me? We've always chosen gifts together. Every year, we've decided on gifts for each other's parents. So why, suddenly, at such a significant milestone like their 60th birthday, would you say something like this?" I was frustrated, unable to understand my husband's thinking. I don't like to boast, but I'm generally a mild-mannered person. I rarely raise my voice, but Robert wouldn't change his mind. He refused to tell me what his parents wanted. Since then, there's been an uncomfortable atmosphere between us, and we only communicate about necessary matters. Even when we drink coffee brewed from freshly ground beans, we remain silent. The day before my mother-in-law's birthday, my husband spoke to me for the first time in a while. "We're going out tomorrow to celebrate Mom's 60th birthday, so get ready, Kathy. We're staying overnight, so be prepared for that too." His sudden announcement left me panicked. "What? Where are we going? If we're staying overnight, you should have told me earlier. I have a lot to prepare." "I just told you, didn't I? You're definitely going to be surprised." Unlike my panic, my husband was in high spirits. The next morning, we got into the car early and went to pick up my in-laws. They were very excited from the moment we arrived. "I'm so excited. I never thought I'd get to celebrate my birthday like this. I really can't thank you enough, right, honey?" "Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Robert and Kathy." No. Happy birthday, Mom-in-law." I felt awkward because I hadn't been involved in choosing the present at all. Even when my in-laws expressed their gratitude, I could only respond vaguely. Then my husband said something that took me by surprise. "Really, it's all thanks to Kathy." His words were a show of support, and I was genuinely touched by his consideration. Despite our recent disagreements, it felt like we could return to our old relationship. My gloomy feelings began to lift, and I decided to enjoy the journey to our destination. When we arrived at the cabin, it exceeded my expectations. Nestled in the woods, the entrance was spacious, and the living room was entirely glass, offering a stunning view. The cabin, surrounded by trees, blended beautifully with nature. It featured 3 bedrooms and even a hot tub in the bath. "This place is amazing. I'm so glad you picked it, Robert," I told my husband, my excitement bubbling over. "I never imagined you would choose such a fantastic spot. I wouldn't have found a place like this on my own. Letting you handle it was definitely the right choice. I'm sorry for being so irritable lately." My enthusiasm was interrupted by a surprising comment from Robert. "It's no big deal. If I were on my own, I wouldn't have been able to buy a cabin like this. It's because of Kathy that I was able to get it." "What?" I was taken aback and at a loss for words. "Buy? What is he talking about?" As confusion swirled in my mind, my in-laws joined in. Thank you so much, Kathy. We never expected such a beautiful cabin. We were thinking of setting up a new home when we turned 60 and even considered living together. But remember, we decided against that, so we thought a cabin would be wonderful, and we discussed it with Robert. From the beginning of our marriage, I had declined the idea of living together. I wanted to enjoy our life as a couple, and my in-laws were still in good health, so I thought it was too early for us to live together. Robert agreed with my perspective, and we had planned to consider it only when my in-laws began to need more help. But I never expected them to ask for a new home as a 60th birthday present, especially not a cabin. It felt like a bit too much. Trying to control my rising panic, I asked my husband, Robert, this is a joke, right? There's no way we can afford a cabin like this. What's the point of springing a surprise on me? It's your mother's birthday. The surprise should be for her. It's not a joke. We actually bought this cabin. What? My vision momentarily blurred as shock set in. While I was reeling from the news, he continued. Man, it really worked out for us. They said I couldn't get a mortgage on my own income. It was a good decision to get a joint mortgage. Hold on a minute. I didn't hear anything about this before. I just told you. And it's not a bad thing for Kathy, is it? You said it was a lovely cabin. It's ours. That's not the point. How much did this vacation home cost? My frustration was evident, and he dropped a bombshell. $1 million. What? $1 million? And this was for my parents' 60th birthday. I thought we'd splurge a bit, he said. The amount was far more than I could have ever imagined, leaving me feeling dizzy. To add insult to injury, my husband dropped another bombshell. We couldn't get a loan for $1 million property in both our names, so I used all the money we've been saving since our marriage, the joint account, as the down payment, he confessed. What? By now, I was beyond shocked. I was completely dumbfounded. How could he be so selfish and make such a significant decision without even consulting me? I couldn't wrap my head around it. Despite my bewilderment, my husband continued casually, well, it's already bought. There's nothing to be done now. Besides, I considered your option of not living together. Isn't that enough? We can do whatever we want with this vacation home. Our vacations will be more enjoyable, won't they? His nonchalant attitude only heightened my frustration. But now that it was done, there was no turning back. As Robert said, the vacation home was indeed lovely, and it would likely enhance our holiday experiences. Fine, it's bought, so there's nothing we can do about it. But you could have at least consulted me, I muttered. At that, Robert brightened up and laughed. That's more like it. I should have consulted you. I'm sorry. I wanted it to be a surprise for you too, Kathy. You're quite something, aren't you? Despite not consulting me and using our joint savings for the mortgage, I realized there were no major expenses on the horizon. I earned significantly more than Robert and had my own savings. I decided to accept it as a good purchase. Feeling resolved, I decided to embrace the grand celebration for my mother-in-law's birthday and enjoy our 2-day stay at the villa. Once home, I brewed a cup of coffee and reminisced about our stay. The villa was indeed splendid, with a wood-burning stove in the living room that would be perfect for winter. Feeling content, I turned to Robert and said, Hey, when are we going back to the villa? I want to pick out some new dishes for it. Yeah, I'll check with my parents. Can't we go by ourselves? Well, the villa is technically in our names, but it was a gift for my parents' 60th anniversary. It wouldn't be right if they had other plans, he explained. I had a nagging suspicion, even though the villa was technically ours, it felt like it might end up being treated as my in-laws' property. I quickly suggested, since it's our villa, we could invite my parents too, right? Yeah, if they're available, he replied non-committally. At least he didn't refuse outright. That was a small relief. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that my optimism might be misplaced. For the past 6 months, I hadn't been allowed to stay at the villa even once. I would drive there, drop off my in-laws, prepare their meals, and then head back home. The next day, I'd pick them up, clean up, and drive them back. It had been this way for 6 months. Despite my numerous complaints, Robert always had an excuse, sometimes even yelling at me. But today, I wasn't backing down, especially with my parents' birthday approaching. Hey Robert, my father's birthday is in 2 months. We should be able to invite them to the villa, right? It's our villa, I emphasized, hoping to make my point clear. Our villa, I stressed, appealing to him directly. But his response was as frustratingly predictable as ever. If my parents don't have plans. Seriously, it's always the same. We haven't stayed at the villa once in the 6 months since we bought it. It's always about your parents. This is our villa, and we should have priority. Plus, I'm also paying the mortgage and the down payment. My parents deserve to stay there too. Today, I wasn't going to back down. I was more determined than ever. Robert's face darkened as he replied sharply. Enough. That vacation house is for my parents only. I won't let your parents use it. So that was your plan all along, wasn't it? No wonder you bought the vacation house without telling me. The patience I had been holding onto shattered in my chest, like something breaking under pressure. I'll never forgive you for this. Don't think you can get away with such selfish behavior. I confronted him directly. Fine, if that's how it is, I won't hold back anymore. Let's get a divorce. What the hell? You're being so petty. Well, whatever. My parents appreciate the vacation home, and I'm sure my mom will handle the housework. I won't be troubled at all without you. And if we're divorcing, I'm not letting you use the vacation house. Are you still okay with that? He wore a smug expression, arms crossed in satisfaction. I felt a pang of regret for falling for his manipulative tactics, but it was too late for that now. All that was left was to seek my own form of retribution. I lowered my voice and applied pressure, determined to make my point. Are you sure about this? You're going to regret it. Not a chance. Fine, it's settled then. Don't ever show up in front of me again. The next day, I filed for divorce. It was processed without any issues, and I decided to walk back to my parents' house. A few months later, Robert called my parents' house in a state of panic. When I answered, he was frantic. Is that you, Kathy? What do you want now? We have nothing left to discuss. He shouted back in desperation. I tried calling your cell phone. Why didn't you answer? Some person claiming to be your lawyer showed up at my house today. Is this something you arranged? Can you explain what's going on? What's there to explain? The lawyer's message is clear. Since we're divorced, I won't be paying the mortgage. If you don't agree to this, I'm considering selling the vacation house. That's all there is to it. But that vacation house is in both our names. Even after the divorce, isn't it fair for you to keep paying the mortgage? To my ex-husband, who was at his wit's end, I calmly replied, even though it's in both our names, I'm not allowed to use it. Why should I keep paying the mortgage for a property I can't access? It doesn't make sense. Oh no, but it's a shared property. You should be the one paying. This conversation is going nowhere. That's why I involved a lawyer. If you're going to insist on your view, I'm ending this call. For any further discussions, contact my lawyer. I didn't have time to deal with his unreasonable demands. I had my own matters to handle. Hold on, wait a minute. I made a mistake. How about we use the vacation house alternately? That should work, right? You keep paying the mortgage, and I'll let you use it from time to time. I have no attachment to that vacation house anymore. I've already bought a new one. What? When did that happen? Yes, I gave the vacation house to my parents for their 60th birthday. It's not $1 million estate, but it's a cozy cottage they love. Are we done here? I don't have time to chat. Wait, please. I quit my job. I know. What about it? It was probably my father's influence, wasn't it? My father is an executive with many influential contacts, including the president of Robert's company. My father must have complained about how Robert treated me, leading the company president to take action. I heard that Robert chose to resign voluntarily after receiving pressure. I'm sure the company president did something behind the scenes. Hey, help me out, Robert pleaded, his voice choked with emotion. I've been getting hostile looks from my coworkers. I quit my job and found a new one, but the salary is lower. I can't keep up with the mortgage payments on my own. Isn't it your father's responsibility to cover the mortgage? He's so self-centered. How far will he go to satisfy himself? I was at my breaking point with his selfishness. Sure, my father might have played a role in your job situation, but you're the one who caused the initial problem, Robert. Don't try to shift the blame. You're at fault for using our shared property to please your parents. You've brought this on yourself. I didn't think it would turn out like this. You reap what you sow. I hope you suffer through mortgage hell, you selfish jerk. Wait, please. I heard his desperate plea but hung up the phone without hesitation. Over the following months, I worked through my lawyer and finally extricated myself from the mortgage on the vacation house. Ultimately, Robert couldn't manage the mortgage payments alone, and the vacation house was sold. With the property's value having dropped, Robert ended up in debt. His in-laws were shocked by the turn of events, and Robert now reportedly lives in a shabby apartment. His parents are now the subject of neighborhood gossip for losing the vacation house they once bragged about. Meanwhile, I'm thriving in my role as vice president at my father's company, leading a busy and fulfilling life. My happiest moments are now when the three of us visit the vacation house on our days off and enjoy a relaxing cup of coffee together.